Hello, this is Miss Moore, and today during chemistry we're going to discuss the factor label method. So the factor label method is just a systematic way to convert units. So today you will need both your calculators and your unit conversion tables handy. Okay, so for this lecture what we're really going to do is just a couple practice problems. We're just going to model how to do factor label method. So let's see, our first question. Let's say we have 15,327 inches. I measured something, I don't know what, came up with that, and I want to know what that is in miles. So first thing we want to do is write our given, our known. So 15,327 inches, please write your units, it's really important, over 1. And we're going to set this up in a grid. And what we need to do now is find our inches, so our inches in our unit conversion table, and find miles and kind of plan a path. How am I going to get from inches to miles? All right, so let's find inches. We have inches, we have 12 inches equals 1 foot, and 3 feet, 1 yard equals 36 inches, or 1 inch equals 2.54 centimeters. Okay, and then here's miles, which we can get to miles using feet. And we have feet here with our inches and feet here with our inches. Or we have kilometers. And for kilometers, I guess we could use centimeters and go from centimeters to kilometers. Let's see, I think the path, you can use any path, it doesn't really matter. But I think I'm going to use the path. I'm going to go 12 inches to a foot. And then I'm going to go from feet here to miles. All right, so got my conversion here. So I'm at inches, right? And I want to get to feet. So I'll have 12 inches. So I'm using this guy right here. 12 inches to 1 foot. You'll notice I set this up so that my inches, whatever's on the top, is on the bottom in the next column so they can cross out. So I'm now at feet, but I want to get to miles. So now I can use these two here. So I have 500 or 5,280 feet on the bottom, again, so I can cross out feet on the top, and 1 mile at the top. These cross out, I'm left at miles, and now all I need to do is put this in my calculator. Okay, so when I put this in the calculator, as long as I didn't make any mistakes, I got 0.24190.409 miles. And then our last step is to look at sig figs. The stuff that we got up here from the unit conversion table, we do not use as sig figs. We're just going to use, in this case, our given. Let me change colors here. Oh, not a good color. Let's try this. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 sig figs in our given, which means we need 5 sig figs in our answer. We need to write that 0, but it doesn't count as a significant figure because it's there's no non-zero digit in front of it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to keep all of that. Drop this side. The first thing we're going to drop is a 3, which is smaller than 5. So our final answer is 0.24190 miles. So hopefully you didn't find that too difficult. All right, let's try a problem that's a little trickier. All right, let's say I have, I don't know, an incredibly leaky faucet. And I measure that I am losing 152 quarts of water every hour. And I'm wondering what that is in milliliters per second. Okay, so we now have to convert, if you look, two different units. We have to go from quarts, a volume unit, to milliliters, a volume unit, and from hours, a time unit, to seconds. All right, so the first thing I would do is rewrite this to make it look a little bit easier. So I'm going to say I have 152 quarts per hour. And it's easier to do this with a number, so per 1 hour, right? Isn't that 152 is the same as 152 over 1? So I can say 152 quarts per 1 hour. Equals, I don't know how many milliliters per second. Okay, so first step is exactly like the previous problem. Write our given over 1, right? So we have 152 quarts per 1 hour. There you go. So what we need to do now is convert 1 unit at a time. So I'm going to first convert the volume unit, the quarts. And I'm going to do the quarts, the rest of this in pink, just to make my life a little easier. I guess I should pick orange because that's what I did before. So I want to get from quarts to milliliters. So let's see, I've got quarts here. Well, liters, right? And then from liters, I can go to milliliters. All right, so let's do that. So I have 4 quarts and 3.7854 liters. I'm going to put quarts on the bottom so I can cross out my quarts on the top. So I have 4 quarts, and the top will go 3.7854 liters. Let me cross off my quarts so I know where I'm at. I'm at liters, and I want to get to milliliters for the volume unit. So one way to do this is make your own little equality. You know 1 liter, let's just pick 1 liter just because 1 on the bottom is nice. What would that be in milliliters? Well, remember, if you use your metric conversion table, it's moving the decimal 3 times. 1, 2, 3. So 1 liter equals 1,000 milliliters. So I can put that in my conversion table. 1 liter equals 1,000 milliliters. Get rid of this. These cross out. And I am here at milliliters, which is what I wanted. You can see right here. All right, now we need to deal with our time unit. We're at hours and we want to get to seconds. So in the same conversion table, I have hour on the bottom. I want to cross that out, which means I need hour at the top. So what conversion do I know about hours off the top of my head? Well, I know 1 hour is 60 minutes. So let me put that in there. So I have 1 hour on the top equals 60 minutes on the bottom. So my hours cross out. I didn't want minutes, I wanted seconds, but I also know 1 minute equals 60 seconds. Minutes cross out. I am now, and so I have seconds, which is what I wanted. And if you look, we have now, our units we have left over are milliliters per second, which is what we were looking for. So now we just plug and chug. And when I put that in the calculator, I got 39.957 milliliters per second. Last step is sig figs, We have 3 sig figs there, which means we want 3 here. So we're going to drop the 5, 7. 5 is 5 or bigger, which is going to bump the 9 up to a 10, which is going to bump the 9 up to a 10, which is going to bump the 3 up to a 4. So final answer is 40.0 milliliters per second. All right, let's try one more. This one takes a significant amount more thinking. All right, so here we go. If I'm driving 62 miles per hour, how long in minutes would it take me to travel 328 kilometers? Whew. So let's look what we've got going on here. We've got 62 miles per hour. There's 2 units there, right? There's a distance unit, miles, and a time unit, hours. How long will it take in minutes? So we want to end up with a time unit. Will it take me to travel 328 kilometers? So I know I want to travel 328 kilometers. Okay, so this is going to take a fair amount of planning. Let's see. So there's several different paths to get there. I'm going to show you one right now. I'm going to say, okay, I know I want to go 328 kilometers, right? And so that's going to be my given over 1. I want to be able to cross out that distance, and I also want to end up with time. So if you look here, I have right here, I have 62 miles per hour with miles at the top, and I kind of want the distance in the bottom, and hours at the bottom, and I really want the time at the top, right? So I'm going to take this and I'm going to flip it. And I'm going to say in 1 hour, I'm driving 62 miles. Okay, so then I'm going to put that in here, 62 miles in 1 hour. Okay, so I've got my givens, let me get rid of that, written down. So like always, now we need to convert. So first off, I really want to get kilometers and miles to cross out, right? But they don't match. So I need to change either miles to kilometers or kilometers to miles. I'm going to go ahead and change my kilometers to miles, although it doesn't really matter. So I need kilometers on the bottom. So if I look up here, let's see. 1 mile equals 1.6093 kilometers. So 1 mile equals 1.6093 kilometers. Now my kilometers cross out, as do my miles. All I have left to deal with is my time unit, so hour, and I want that in minutes. So I'm going to put at the bottom 1 hour is 60 minutes. So hour crosses out, hours crosses out. I'm left with minutes, which if you look back, that was our question. So now we just multiply and divide and stuff, plug and chug, and if I did this correctly, I got 197.2406, etc. minutes. And then as always, sig figs. So I have 62, which is 2 sig figs here, and 328, which is 3 sig figs. So my final answer is going to have 2 sig figs. So we're going to keep the 19. So we'd keep like 1, 9, right? But the 7 rounds the 9 up to a 10, rounding the 1 up to a 2. So that's 20, which is not a good rounding of 197. 200, remember you add a 0 for a placeholder for anything you drop, any digit you drop before a decimal. So we've got our rounding. The problem is that's 1 sig fig. Oh, minutes, by the way. So we cannot, that doesn't work. So the only way we can get the right number of sig figs in this case is with scientific notation. So we'll have 2.0 times 10 to the second minutes. There you go. Okay, I want to show you one more way we could have done this problem. So let me get rid of this mess here. Almost. All right, so we still have our same numbers, right? We had 62 miles per hour, 328 kilometers, and minutes. So let's say you had started with your distance. Nope, you'd started with your miles per hour. So you had 62 miles per 1 hour. Okay. So we've used this guy. So now we have our kilometers. We want our kilometers, which is a distance, to cross out our miles. So I'll put the kilometers on the bottom, 328 kilometers under 1. Okay. And then again, we're trying to get rid of the distance, miles and kilometers. So we're going to use that same equality up here. 1 mile equals 1.6093 kilometers. But this time we'll put 1 mile on the bottom so we can cross out this mile, right? And so then on the top we'll go 1.6. Ooh, I forgot what it was. There it is, 093 kilometers. So those cross out. So we've got our distance taken care of, and now we need to work on our time. So 1 hour, 60 minutes, right? So hour crosses out. So we're left now with just per minute. Okay, so when we put that in the calculator, I came up with 5.0. Yeah, let's do it without scientific notation. Let's try that again. I came up with 0.00509949, etc. per minute. Right, so all of this was over minute, which is not what I wanted. I wanted not per minute, but minute. So what I can do, let me move this up a little bit more room. What I could do here is if I divide this into 1, that's really, when you divide a fraction into 1 over the fraction, you're really just, you end up just flipping the fraction, right? So that gives me 1 minute, 0.00509949, etc. And when we divide, I got 196.098, etc. minutes. And then if we do our rounding and stuff, we're going to end up with the exact same number, which is 2.0 times 10 to the second minutes. As you can see, there are multiple pathways to the same answer, same problem. So folks, factor label method, some of these problems, it's a puzzle. You just follow your units and see where they lead. And that's it for today. Have a good one.